Hi, seventh grade. Welcome back. Today is Thursday, and we're going to continue looking at evidence. The exit ticket for today was quite challenging, and I appreciate to those 75 students that took it. That means that there's at least 25 students that haven't taken it. I'm making this video on Wednesday, so hopefully this number goes up. So let's go over this exit ticket. This exit ticket is, like I said, it was pretty challenging. Okay. So if you see your name here, you've done the exit ticket. If you don't see your name here, that means you haven't done it, and that's not okay. Please make sure to get to your exit ticket. Um, I really appreciate it when you do that. It is important that you do it because this is what appears in your assessments as well. So, what new invention allowed Martin Luther's ideas to spread faster? So this was in the 1500s, so 500 years ago. There was no internet 500 years ago. There was no cars 500 years ago. There was paper 500 years ago. Paper has actually been around for over 2,000 years. So the printing press allowed for the spread of the Reformation. What was in the 95 Theses? There were questions and statements that Luther asked or asked people to think about when criticizing there are 95 statements where Luther criticizes the church, and they're also in the form of questions. Couldn't get that out. It is not indulgences. He was against those. Martin Luther was born a Catholic. The answer is true. He was born a Catholic. Like most Europeans at this time, he was a Catholic. He grew up a Catholic. He became a Catholic monk. He followed the Pope. He followed the church. He was a Catholic up until when he had a disagreement with the church, when he broke away from the church. So the answer to that is true. Martin Luther was born in Italy. The answer is false. He was born in Germany. That was in the reading. So that what this tells me is that some of us are not doing the reading. Okay, which of the following pieces of evidence support the claim that Reformation weakened the Catholic Church? This one, it ended church unchallenged authority over Europe. This one will be a next good one, but it doesn't really show how it weakened the church. I guess you can say that um, people could pay less money. Okay, which of the following is the main idea of the following text? Luther challenged to the church spread quickly. That was from this paragraph that I showed you. This one, Luther's. It's not really about 95 Theses. That's just the detail. The big idea is that Luther's ideas spread pretty quickly throughout Europe. Next one. Okay, so here, what is the main idea of the Protestant Reformation? For this one, you could have said something like Luther's ideas challenged the church and weakened the church. You could have said that, right? Luther disagreed with the Catholic Church. Those could have been fine. But then here we have Martin Luther, similar to before, right? It needs to be in a complete sentence. Okay. It needs to be in a complete sentence. It's one. It can't be one word. It can't just be a topic. Someone said Martin Luther or Reformation. It's not that. Okay, what what did Luther say a person needed to be saved? Provide evidence from the text. So here you needed a claim, or you needed just a piece of evidence. You couldn't just say belief in God, right? You need to actually have that plus a piece of evidence or just evidence. So this one, um, here we go. The only thing that was necessary was a personal relationship with God. Okay. He realized that the faith in Christ. So those are fine. Someone said kidnap. I don't know how that answers the question. It doesn't. It just really doesn't. Some of the answers that I was seeing, I was like, those are just not. Martin Luther said a person needed to have faith in God. So this person just paraphrased, which is fine. I didn't get this one, which is okay too. Someone said he needs the Pope. No, he doesn't. Martin Luther did not believe that the Pope was special at all. He saw him as a religious figure, a regular person, not a superhuman, does not take the role of God. He is just a priest that will be judged by God when he dies as well, similar to other people, right? He does not believe that the Pope has the authority to send him to hell or to heaven. And that is one of the reasons you will see that he is not afraid of being kicked out of the church, because he's like, okay, you kicked me out, so what? That doesn't mean anything. Only God can save me, or only God can send me to hell, not the Pope. Okay, and we get to this one. Read the following letter Luther wrote to the Archbishop. What evidence from this letter supports that Luther was still in good terms with the Catholic Church? So here, this person got it. The grace of God be with you. So he's using very positive words, right? But you can't just say it. You actually have to write the evidence. This one is okay, not the best. The grace of God be with you. So, right, when you are in good terms with someone, when you respect someone, you use positive words, right? You don't you're not using bad words. Here he says Luther referred to himself as dregs of humanity and referred to the church as illustrious, meaning they respected them. These are really, really awesome answers. This person wrote part two. I have no idea what that means. This one, again, this one is okay, but there's better evidence that supports that he's in better terms with the church. Let's look at the title. He says he calls him most reverend father, most illustrious prince. He calls him a prince. So yes, he's the evidence comes from this paragraph. Okay, let's continue. We did that one, and then this one. What does Luther think of indulgences? So here, again, you could have said he doesn't believe in them, but you needed evidence, right? Because the topic is evidence. So, for example, here this person said Luther thinks that indulgences are not real. Well, they're real; they just don't work. Let me find someone. The unhappy souls believe that if they purchase letters of indulgences, they are sure of their salvation. That evidence is not the not the most relevant evidence. Okay, there's another one. This one. I do not bring accusations against the outcries of the preachers, which I have not heard. I have not heard, so much as I grieve over the wholly false impressions which the people receive. This person has a lot of typos. But he's saying that they are false. Here it is. So much as I grieve over the wholly false impressions which the people have conceived from their indulgences. So people have this false sense of security. They are buying things that are useless. He's saying they are false, they don't work. Okay? So that's what you're doing then. Today you'll be working on this document. It is called the Protestant Reformation, Martin Luther. It is similar to what you read on Wednesday, but it goes into a little more detail for some parts. Okay, um, you will see that when you read this document, Martin Luther was pretty crass. You know, didn't really wasn't really careful with his words, or just kind of crude, right? I'm gonna ask you questions about that. um, Please don't write any inappropriate words on the exit ticket. If you are, just make sure to, like, for example, here he writes there's a bad word, so just do it the way that they do it in the text. So on your exit ticket, it's gonna look like this. If I can get it to work. I can't see the preview, but your exit ticket is going to be it's going to be similar to what you've done on Wednesday. I will ask that you give me evidence, right? For some of them, you have to have a claim. For all of them, you need evidence. And when I say evidence, I mean quote it. And the evidence is going to come from this document. The evidence is going to come from this document. Okay, let me give you guys a little preview of Martin Luther. So today you're still working on evidence. That is the most relevant evidence. Okay, let me give you a little preview of Martin Luther because he's a really interesting person. I hope this doesn't get blocked, and if it does, then I'll give you the link to it.
Martin Luther was a German theologian whose works brought about the Protestant Revolution. Luther was born in Eisleben, Germany, and was baptized the next day on the feast of St. Martin, after whom he was named.
So he is baptized as a Catholic kid. He's born a Catholic.
Luther attended various schools in Germany and then attended the University of Erfurt when he was 19 in 1501. Following this, Luther enrolled in law school but dropped out shortly after and began studying theology and philosophy. In 1505, Luther was caught in a severe thunderstorm after university. A bolt of lightning struck the ground near his horse, and he screamed aloud, "Save me, St. Anna, and I will become a monk." Luther survived the storm and immediately left school and entered a friary. He dedicated himself to monastic life and was then ordained to the priesthood.
So he became a monk. You'll be watching another documentary later about his life as a monk.
He became a teacher at the University of Wittenberg and also began studying and received his doctorate in theology in 1512. Luther became disheartened at the Catholic Church's sale of indulgences.
Besides indulgences, he also, when he traveled to Rome, he also saw the corruption of the church, right? Living like really, really rich lives, having sex with prostitutes, not taking the rituals of the church seriously. They didn't do mass the way it should have been done. It was just for show.
Which were promised redemptions from sin which could be obtained by donating money to the church. In 1517, he published his 95 Theses, which attacked.
So these theses are 95 statements and questions that he has for the church, or people should ask for the church. This document was written in Latin. So remember, most people in Europe cannot read Latin. So what does that tell you about his intentions? Was it for the eyes of everyone, right? Were these statements for the eyes of all Europeans or only certain Europeans? So what does that mean about his intentions for the Reformation? Did he intend for this to become a serious matter?
95 Theses, which attacked the sale of indulgences, as well as clerical and papal abuses. Due to the invention of the printing press, Luther's work quickly spread throughout Europe, and he published more controversial works. As a result, Luther was excommunicated from the church by Pope Leo X in 1521. He was ordered to appear before the General Assembly of the Holy Roman Empire, and after he refused to recant his
This is called the Diet of Worms. It's in Quizlet.
writings, he was declared an outlaw, and his
So they gave him a chance. They were like, come on, take it back, Luther. Take everything back. Take it back, take it back, take it back. And he said, I will not take it back. If you can prove to me that I am wrong based on the Bible, I will take it back. But if you can't prove that I'm wrong based on the Bible, I won't take it back.
his literature was banned. Luther fled to Wartburg Castle in Eisenach, Germany, and continued writing. He returned to Wittenberg in 1522 and married a former nun, with whom he fathered 6 children.
So so this is one big difference already, right? You'll see that there's some differences. One is in the Catholic Church, priests can't get married. They can't have kids. Some of them were having kids, right? But they weren't supposed to. But you'll see that in the Protestant churches that come out of Catholic of the Christian Church in Europe, priests can get married. Not in every single religion, Christian religion.
Nun, with whom he fathered 6 children. He continued his efforts to change the church with his writings and preaching, and in 1522 he published a German translation of the New Testament, followed by a translation of the Old Testament in 1534.
He didn't publish the New Testament or Old Testament to make money. He did it, remember, because he wants people to have access to the Word of God so that people can have a connection with God themselves. So it kind of bypasses or goes around the Catholic Church, because in Catholicism at the time, people needed the church to access God.
He delivered his final sermon in 1546 and died 3 days later at the age of 62, but his legacy as the iconic figure of the Protestant Reformation lives on.
So that's Martin Luther. You will have some questions on Edpuzzle. Your goal is to get 75%, and you also have your exit ticket. Your exit ticket is going to take a little longer. On Thursday, we're finishing up the evidence, and on Friday, we'll probably continue doing evidence and main idea. I will see you guys later.